TimetoShrink. It's another Sunday. It's time for Meal Prep Sunday, y'all. We're gonna get meal prepping. This week we are going to make sheet pan chicken and asparagus. We're gonna do hard-boiled eggs in the Instant Pot and make some egg salad. We're gonna make some coleslaw. We're going to do some loaded burgers. Basically, I do burgers on a sheet pan and make like a big hole in the middle, and we stuff them with whatever we want. We're gonna do caramelized onions and mushrooms and cover it with a really good melting cheese. I'm so excited to have that for meal prep this week. And then we're also gonna make sloppy joes. So that's the plan for this week. I also wanted to say that this week, my meal prep is a collaboration with my friend Elizabeth over at Countess of Low Carb. Y'all, I have been watching her for so long and I just adore her. She is so smart, so knowledgeable about all things keto, all things fasting, intermittent fasting. I think she's kind of who I've dubbed like the intermittent fasting queen. She just has so much information on it. And she had reached out to me not too long ago and asked if I was interested in doing an e-course collaboration. And we brainstormed this really great course. I am so excited about it. It is coming out this coming Wednesday, December 18th. It's going to be easy keto meals for the busy mama or the busy family. Everything is going to be easy peasy, no muss, no fuss. Like sheet pan meals where you just ball up the aluminum foil from the sheet when it's done and throw it away. No cleanup whatsoever with that. A ton of Instant Pot meals. So I have 18 great recipes, and then we have video tutorials on meal planning, video tutorials on meal prep, video tutorials on exactly how to use your Instant Pot, one on how to use sheet pan meals and how to do that, the variety of things that you can do with that. Just so much information. There's going to be printouts and PDFs. It's just all going to be contained into one e-course. So you don't have to go to this YouTube here and get your PDFs here and go like all these different places for stuff. It's just going to be all in one concise spot, and I'm so excited about it. It's for pre-sale right now for only $12. So down below in the description, you can go get it now. The price is going to go up on December 18th. So it actually comes out December 18th, but you can do a pre-sale right now for $12 for the course, and then you will automatically get it emailed to you first thing in the morning on December 18th. Anytime December 18th or after, the price is gonna go up. I'm not exactly sure what it's gonna be, but it's definitely gonna jump. So if you're interested, I highly suggest doing the pre-sale. We thought it would be fun to do a collaborative meal prep today, just to kind of introduce the concept of what we're planning to do with this e-course and to like introduce each other to each other's viewers. I'm assuming most of my viewers watch Elizabeth. I'm sure a lot of hers don't watch me, so that'll be great. And if you don't watch Elizabeth and you watch me, I would love for you when this video is over to go watch her video and let her know that Erica sent you, and you will just love her. I know you will love her content. She does a lot of like shop with me's, showing good things to get for the keto diet at Walmart, at Aldi, at Costco. She does tons of meal prep. She just has so much information, tons of information on intermittent fasting. Just such a great place to go learn and soak up knowledge, and that's what I do with Elizabeth's channel. I go there to soak up knowledge, and she makes it enjoyable and fun. She just has the sweetest personality and the sweetest heart. All right, let's jump into this, y'all. Got my apron on. Let's get this hair up and get it going, y'all. Nobody wants hair in their food. Two things that we're gonna prep right now are burger bowls and chicken and asparagus, and I'm just gonna put them both in the oven at the same time. For this particular prep, what I'm gonna do is, I like when I'm doing sheet pan meals for everything to be relatively thin so that the cooking time is faster. If you do a sheet pan meal with bone-in chicken or bone-in pork, just know it's gonna take a little longer to cook. The upfront time is not any longer at all, so it's still really a super quick and easy thing. But I'm just gonna go through and get my chicken prepped. I like to cut off like the extra fat on the edges. One thing with chicken, if you are not using a local like free range and you know that the chicken's been eating grass and not eating feed and stuff, I tend to like to do chicken breast because the fat is where a lot of the hormones are stored, and the bad chemical stuff is just stored. That's just how it works in the fat. So I try to buy leaner cuts of meat if I'm not gonna buy super high quality, know that it was pasture raised and not fed any kind of feed. It's really hard to find that. Even organic chicken is fed organic soy and organic corn, which truthfully, I mean, maybe it's better than non-organic, but it's still not its natural food. So I tend to just go for chicken breast and cut off any fat that I see. And then I add my own fat, my healthy fat, my oils or my butter, things that I know are from a good source. That's where I add my fat in for my meal. So that's what I recommend. I do buy grass-fed beef, so I know that has been raised organic grass-fed beef. I know how that's been raised. I know what it ate, so I'm okay with buying a little fattier cuts of beef. But chicken, it's just, unless you have a local source, you're probably not gonna find a chicken that is only pasture fed. We're starting to be able to find that with eggs, but not with chicken. So that's just my little thoughts on that, y'all. So while I'm getting this chicken cut up, I just thought I'd share that. I don't know if I've talked about that before, and I think that's a place to save money. I don't think you need to be spending a ton of money on chicken unless you can locally source it. So just cut off all the extra fat and add your healthy fats to it, y'all. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna take my chicken and put it on top of my sheet pan. I was just prepping my asparagus. Maybe everybody knows this, but just in case, how you decide where to break your asparagus, you just take a strand and wherever it naturally bends, that's the part you're gonna cut off. Literally just gonna let them break where they break. Okay, so the first thing I'm gonna do is just take whatever seasoning you want. Today we're gonna use some herb de Provence salt and a little bit of toasted onion seasoning, both from Fresh Jack's. Fresh Jack's is always listed down below if y'all wanna check it out. It's an all natural, all organic, no preservatives spice. They're actually a small local owned company that is in Jacksonville, Florida. I've actually been to their site and met them in person. They're so great. But I absolutely am obsessed with their spices. I just think it takes my food to a whole nother level. So the first thing I'm doing is just putting that all over the chicken, just getting some good seasoning on there. Then I'm gonna put the same seasoning right on top of my asparagus. Usually I do it all on one sheet pan, but I had a lot of chicken today, so I'm gonna do chicken on one and asparagus on the other. It's still no muss, no fuss, easy cleanup, right? Okay, I'm gonna take a little bit of olive oil and just drizzle it right over my asparagus. I'm not measuring today, but probably about 2 tablespoons. And then for this particular chicken dish, often I do mayonnaise and cheese. I do mayonnaise and Parmesan cheese and then some seasoning, and that's what I use. But I have this Blue Moon Parmesan Asiago dip, and I need to use some of it up. So we're gonna use that. It is fabulous. So what you're gonna do is you're just gonna take it and you're gonna paint it on the top of each piece of chicken. You always wanna get your oven ready while you're working so that you're working smarter, not harder, right? You don't wanna have to wait on it. You want it to be ready for you. So that's one of the first things I do is after I set everything out, I go ahead and turn my oven on to the temperature that I want it, unless I'm making bacon. One oven I left cold because I always cook bacon in a cold oven. It just renders the fat better and it tastes better. It crisps up better. It's a super easy thing. I'm just gonna take some Parmesan cheese. I'm just using the green can kind because that's what I've got. And I'm sprinkling this all over the top. And then I have my keto crumb mixture. It's my TimetoShrink breadcrumb mixture that I've created that I just am so proud of and think is so fabulous on things. I'm gonna sprinkle some of that on top of this as well. Basically, it's in my cookbook, which is down below, y'all. My Southern Keto Kitchen cookbook, and it will also be in our Easy Keto Recipe E-course. But basically, it's pork rinds that have been crushed, Parmesan cheese, and nutritional yeast. If you haven't tried nutritional yeast, this is a spot to try it. So good. Let me grab that. Okay. So I'm just gonna use a little bit of it and put it over the top of some of this chicken just to give it a little bit of extra crunch. This is not a necessary step by any means, but if you have it, it is super yummy. This is something that I like to do ahead because when I crush up my pork rinds and I mix huge amounts of it and then I just store it, and when I'm ready to use it, it's ready for me. So as soon as I run out, it's something that is immediately put on my meal prep to do to restock myself, because if I had to stop in the middle of meal prep and make this, it would, you know, take me an extra 15 minutes dirty up a lot more stuff. So when I do make it, I try to make a good amount. So there we go, we've got that spread all over the top of our chicken. We're gonna toss our asparagus to make sure that all of it is coated really well in the olive oil. And then we're just gonna spread it out on this sheet pan. I think we're gonna go this way, and I may be able to put my burgers right on this same sheet pan with the asparagus, or I may need to get a third sheet pan. Either way, I definitely recommend investing in about 4 sheet pans, because often I will use 4 in one meal prep. So 4 good sized sheet pans, they are worth it. They will last you forever and ever and ever. And a good sheet pan is around $20, so it's an investment to get 4 at one time, but to build up to that is really, really worth it. I'm gonna wash my hands again, and then we are going to make our burgers. Okay, so what I've done is taken 2 pounds of ground beef and just plopped it down right in the middle of my sheet pan. Now you could do this in a bowl if you want, if you don't want to do it on the sheet pan, but I'm just gonna do it all in the sheet pan. I'm gonna take 1 egg. Eggs are something that I do spend the money because I know I can get pasture raised eggs. It says specifically that they're pasture raised and what they're fed. Sometimes they still supplement their feed with corn and soy, but I do think buying pasture raised eggs is worth it, but it's not worth it for the chicken itself, in my opinion. Okay, so again with these burgers, any spices that you like, I'm going to use Keto Chop House steak seasoning by Fresh Jack's. It's similar to like a Montreal steak seasoning, kind of, not exactly, but it's so delicious. So about a tablespoon of that. I'm gonna throw on a little bit of Worcestershire sauce, probably about a tablespoon of that. And then I'm also gonna toss in some of this toasted onion from Fresh Jack's. If you don't have these exact seasonings, it's fine. You could use a Montreal steak seasoning, any kind of hamburger seasoning or steak seasoning. Toasted onion is really just a combination of onion, garlic, sea salt, and black pepper. This is one of my very favorites. Toasted onion and spicy all-purpose are probably my 2 favorite because they will lend themselves well to almost anything that you want to add them to. So they're just, if you were only going to buy a couple, that's probably what I would recommend. So I'm just now going to form these burgers, kind of just like you're making a meatloaf at first. You're just gonna mix it all together, and I do it right on the sheet pan so that I'm not dirtying up another bowl. It really is that simple, y'all. And then I'm going to form it into whatever size burgers you want. At this point, if you wanted to like grill them outside, obviously we're just making a burger here. You could do this, but I just want to show you how easy it is to do in the sheet pan method. So basically just make whatever size burgers you want. I'm gonna make them relatively large because I want to like make a big hole in the middle that when I take them out, I can stuff with caramelized onions and some mushrooms and put a big piece of cheese on and then throw it back in and melt the cheese. So that's what I'm gonna do. Then you want to either, you can form them just as regular burgers and leave them like that, or you can kind of push down in the middle, either with your fingers or the back of a 1/4 cup measuring cup. That works really well too. And just form a bowl in there that you're gonna be able to stuff, you're gonna be able to fill. This is more of an idea, more of a method. I definitely will have this exact recipe in our e-course with different suggestions of what to stuff it with. So be on the lookout for that if you decide to purchase the course, because this is something that you're gonna get an exact recipe for with all kinds of different stuffing ideas. So literally less than 5 minutes to throw together, right? The chicken probably took 3 minutes, even with slicing it into smaller pieces, and this is gonna be about the same, y'all. Like, it's just so easy peasy. Now for the rest of the space on here, what I would do is throw any kind of roasted veggies, any kind of veggies that you want to roast. You can even throw frozen broccoli or frozen cauliflower on here. Toss it with your seasoning, toss it with your oil, put it in the oven with this, and just let it bake. I am actually going to move this asparagus over to this sheet pan because I have room for it. So I've got this one ready, I've got my chicken ready behind me. I'm gonna load this one with some bacon, and then we're gonna throw them in the oven. I'm gonna take my bacon, put it in the bottom oven, in my cold oven. Then I'm going to go ahead and set that to 400 degrees. I've got my top oven on 375, This is my burgers. I had 2 extra pieces of bacon that wouldn't fit on the other sheet, so I just threw it on top of the asparagus. Another thing you can put on here is a little bit of Parmesan cheese, which I forgot I meant to do. I put a little bit of Parmesan cheese right over the asparagus, and then when I take it out, I usually put some lemon oil right over the asparagus and the chicken. Really, really good with that. Okay, so top oven, we're going to put our burgers in the middle, and I'm going to put my chicken on top. How long this takes totally depends on what size burgers you do, what size chicken you do. Is it bone-in? Is it not bone-in? Have you made it thin or is it thick? So what you need to do is just watch it, and you could put an internal thermometer in there to let you know when it's finished. But chicken is finished at 165 degrees. Chicken is finished at 165 degrees, and beef at least 145 to 155. It just depends on what range you want. I usually stop beef around 145 and then it will continue to cook a little bit as it sits. So I've thrown that in there. I'm gonna clean up a little bit, and then we are going to jump back here and make some sloppy joes and get the hard-boiled eggs started as well, so that we'll have that going. We're gonna do some hard-boiled eggs. This is what I wanted to show you, what I was talking about for the eggs. See how they say organic and they say pasture raised, so that way you know they were out in a pasture. But see where it says certified organic feed? What that means is they were still feeding them. They were out on the pasture, so yes, they could have bugs, yes, they could have grass, but they're still feeding them soy and corn. It may be organic, but it's still soy and corn, and that's not their natural diet. Unless you can get them from a friend who raises chicken in their backyard, this is about as good as you're gonna get. The Vital Farms brand is also really good. This is what I get from Costco. So we're just going to take our eggs and hard boil them in the Instant Pot. It's a 5-5-5 method. I have shared this many times. Basically, you put a cup of water in the bottom, you put however many eggs you want, you turn it on, you hit manual, and then you want 5 minutes. If you have a newer Instant Pot, a lot of them have egg buttons and it will go straight to 5 minutes. So we're going to let it pressure cook for 5 minutes, and then you let it natural release for 5 minutes, and then ice bath for 5 minutes. All right, while I have that in the oven and I've got my eggs going for my hard-boiled eggs, now we're going to come back here and make some sloppy joe. A lot of times I like to do 2 or 3 times the amount of meat that I'm planning to use that week, because it's just easy to make and freeze. I like to do ground beef in big batches and then make taco meat or different flavored meats. Freeze it flat in a Ziploc bag, flat, so when you pull it out, you can thaw it in like 30-45 minutes. Super easy. Today I had exactly 4 pounds. I used half for the burgers, so we're just gonna make enough for this week. But I highly suggest, especially if you get it on sale, to buy a bunch, and just like, it doesn't take but a few more minutes to make a bunch at a time. And if you get a really big saute pan, you can literally do like 3 pounds at a time. So today we are going to make sloppy joes per request of my little man. So I'm taking 2 pounds of ground beef. I'm going to use a little bit of Worcestershire sauce. We are going to use a little bit of organic tomato paste. We're going to use some sugar-free ketchup. I like Alterna Sweets the best, but what I have right now is G. Hughes sugar-free ketchup. We're going to use that. We're going to use some garlic. We're going to use some yellow mustard. We're just going to use lots of herbs and spices, so I will show you as we go. But the first thing we're going to do is get the beef browned up. There it is. Y'all, we almost had a tragedy. I could not find my spatulator. This little, I call it spatulator, that's what Keto Ginger calls it, where I heard of it for the first time. But this little, like, I don't know what it's really called. It's like a meat thing. I don't know, spatulator. It is awesome for breaking up beef. So now what I'm gonna do is start building my flavor profile. So I'm gonna take about 2 tablespoons of tomato paste, put it right there in the middle, and I'm gonna let it cook out a little bit. That's the first thing that I'm gonna do. I just pushed all of my beef around to the outside so that I could have like a little hole here in the middle to cook my tomato paste. I'm gonna use this toasted onion by Fresh Jack's. We're just gonna sprinkle some of that in. I'm going to use a little bit of spicy all-purpose from Fresh Jack's. A little bit of garlic. This is just garlic powder from Fresh Jack's. This is just ground yellow mustard. Gonna add some of that in. You could also just add in straight yellow mustard just from your fridge. We're gonna try the powder this time because I have it. Sugar-free ketchup is gonna go in next, and some Worcestershire sauce. About 2 tablespoons of Worcestershire sauce probably. And we're gonna start with about 1/4 cup of ketchup, and we'll see how much we need. So now that that tomato paste is kind of cooked a little bit, we're just gonna mix it all together. I am gonna go ahead and add in a little bit more ketchup. About 1/4 cup of water. What I added was just some Lakanto powdered sweetener. So at this point, I'm just kind of cooking it down over low, and then I'm gonna taste it and we'll adjust from there. All right, I'm gonna go check on my food back here. I'm just gonna use a meat thermometer and check my chicken and see where we are. Here's our chicken. Doesn't that look good? Oh my gosh, that looks so good. I gotta find somewhere to put this. Okay, what I'm gonna do with these burgers, y'all, I just took them off the pan. I'm not gonna eat these today, so what I'm gonna do is take them just like this. I don't know if you can see this with the steam, but they have a nice hole in the middle of each one. I'm gonna let them cool, and then I'm gonna put them in the refrigerator just like this. When we're ready to eat them, we will stuff them with whatever we want and put a piece of cheese on top. I'll pop them back in the oven under the broiler and just let everything melt together and heat back up. That makes it heat up really well for you within just a few minutes, and you don't overcook it that way. So that's what we're gonna do with these. And then the asparagus, I'm going to put in a separate little thing. And the chicken, I think we may eat some of that tonight and some will go into the fridge. But it all looks super, super yummy, smells great in here. The bacon's almost done, the sloppy joes are done. The hard-boiled eggs are perfect. It's been 5 minutes, so it's time to put them in the ice bath. Everything's happening at the same time. We're rocking and rolling. Eggs are in the ice bath. I'm gonna let them sit there for 5 to 10 minutes and get completely cool, and then we will make our egg salad. I wanted to show you an example of what I was talking about. I just took the bacon off of this sheet pan, put it over here. I'm just gonna crumple this up, and this is clean. This is ready to go back into its spot. And this, we are literally just gonna take it over here to the trash. Cleanup done. Okay, I'm going to make some coleslaw real quick. Jason likes to eat on this during the week. I have some leftover jalapeno cilantro lime sauce that I had made, so I'm gonna use this as the base, and I'm probably gonna add a little bit of mayonnaise to it also, but it's that simple. So just your classic coleslaw. I'm gonna throw that in the bowl, and we're gonna dump this on there, just use it up. And then I'm just gonna add a little bit of mayonnaise. I'm just using Chosen Foods mayonnaise. I usually use Duke's for coleslaw and egg salad, but this is what I had in the fridge right now. So we're gonna go with that, and we're just gonna get it all tossed. Add some apple cider vinegar for tang, just a couple tablespoons probably. And then I usually add a little bit of sweetener to it, just to counteract the apple cider vinegar. A lot of times also I will add like some chicken to this to make it like a full meal. Jason likes to have the coleslaw with the chicken in it sometimes, and sometimes I don't. It just depends on if I have it. I actually think I have some canned chicken, so I'm gonna ask him if he wants that in here. Do you want chicken in this coleslaw?
Okay.
Well, yes or no?
Do you have chicken?
Well, we have canned chicken.
No. I'd rather you make buffalo with canned
Okay.
chicken.
So a little bit of salt and pepper. Then I'm just gonna do just a little bit of powdered sweetener, just like 2 teaspoons of powdered sweetener, just to counteract the spicy and the apple cider vinegar. Get that all tossed. And he said he would like me to make buffalo chicken dip instead of putting chicken in the coleslaw. So just gonna get this coleslaw finished up. I'm gonna put it in a container, and I'm gonna rinse this out and use this same thing to throw my egg casserole together for breakfast. I love, love, love my glass Pyrex, y'all. You can bake in it, you can heat in it, you can freeze in it, you can store in it. I absolutely love my glass Pyrex. I have circle ones and I have rectangle size ones. They have plastic tops, but they're glass. So obviously you would need to take the plastic top off if you were going to put it in the oven, but it will stay with it in the freezer or in the refrigerator. So one more thing done. I just finished up browning some Italian sausage just in the same pot that I had done the sloppy joes, and I'm gonna use that to make an egg casserole. We like to do egg casseroles for breakfast, so we're definitely gonna do that. So I'm just gonna sit here and peel these eggs real quick. Actually, I usually do this under running water, but look how easily these peel, y'all. Cut the egg in half, and then I put the yolks in a bowl and leave that white separate. I need to get one of those egg slicer things to make egg salad easy. Maybe somebody will get me that in my Christmas stocking. Hint, hint, hint.
Did your nut son show you what he did?
What? He cut his credit card in half?
He was using it
How
to
did he
scrape
do
the
that?
ice off the windshield.
My brilliant son was using his credit card.
Scrape the ice off his windshield.
Scrape the ice off of his windshield in the morning, and he broke his credit card, y'all. Oh my gosh. So I'm just gonna take the egg whites and chop them up into bite-sized pieces. And I'm actually gonna measure everything really well today so I know exactly how much of everything I use so that I can share that exactly. Because we are doing, in the e-course that we're doing, one of the things is like an Instant Pot 101, and part of my Instant Pot 101 is teaching people exactly how to do hard-boiled eggs, how to do bone broth, how to do like shredded chicken and shredded pork, just like some basic recipes. And then I, of course, have put in some really fun recipes like lasagna or meatloaf in the Instant Pot that are chock full of flavor and are just so yummy. Yeah, so super easy, y'all. So easy. All right, so I'm gonna set these to the side. Actually, before we finish that, I'm gonna go ahead and make this casserole, egg casserole for my son so that this can finish cooking in the oven. I should have done it earlier, but I almost forgot about it. So I've just got 8 eggs and some cream, and I usually just use whatever I have left over. But I had like 0 leftovers this week to use, so I have some, here it is. So I just, oh, sorry Hazel. I just have some Italian sausage that I went ahead and browned up. I just browned it in the same pot that I had done the sloppy joes in. I didn't rinse it out or anything, y'all. But I make egg casserole 50 million different ways. I use different cheeses, I use different meats, just like kind of whatever I have left is what usually goes into this. But today we're gonna do Italian. So we have Italian sausage, egg, mozzarella cheese. I'm just gonna pour my egg mixture right over top. One of my favorite ways is goat cheese. I love to put goat cheese in egg casserole. It is so good. Goat cheese and spinach, oh my gosh, that is a great combination. Today we're just kind of gonna go for mozzarella cheese and sausage, just kind of like a traditional Italian bake. I'm just gonna put this in that same oven while it's still hot. And this usually takes about 25 minutes to finish. So clean that up and get back to egg salad. Now with egg salad, I just kind of like to mash up the yolks before I add anything to them. So I'm just mashing my yellow yolks up, and then I will add some mayonnaise and some mustard and some dill pickle relish. That's my main 3 ingredients, and then salt and pepper, and that's it. So I'm gonna take 1/4 cup of dill pickles, 1/4 cup of mayonnaise going in, and then I'm just gonna use plain yellow mustard. Use whatever kind of mustard you have or you like. Okay, I'm definitely gonna go ahead and add 1 more tablespoon of mustard. And 1 more tablespoon of mayonnaise. And we're just gonna get that mixed together, and I think that's gonna be it, y'all. And there is a really quick egg salad, y'all. All right, y'all, this is what we prepared this week. We've got Parmesan Dijon chicken, we've got our burger bowls, we've got bacon, we've got sloppy joe, asparagus, egg salad, coleslaw, buffalo chicken dip, and an egg casserole. that's what we did this week. I hope y'all enjoyed hanging out with me. I love meal prepping and sharing any tips or tricks that like pop in my head with y'all, and just different recipes. Some of these recipes, the sheet pan recipes especially, will be in the e-course coming up with Elizabeth over at Countess of Low Carb that we're putting out. Thank you so much, Elizabeth, for doing this collaboration with me. I absolutely adore you. I love watching your channel. I learned so much from you, and I'm so honored to be doing this e-course with you and to be doing this collab with you. Thank you so much for reaching out, and I'm so excited to be doing this. All right. Bye, y'all. I hope you have a really blessed week. I will see you again soon.